Hi, today we have Mr. Vyjay. Mr. Vyjay is experienced traveler. He has traveling with since 16 years. He holds a lot of experience in traveling, and he has got a lot of insights also in traveling. So let us know today more about him.
First of all, thank you for having me over here. So my name is Vijay, and me along with my wife Sandy, we are travelers since last 16 or more years. Actually, we've been traveling right from childhood, but last 8 years we have our own travel blog called Voyager, and because of that we are into full-time travel right now, and we've traveled to around between 25 to 30 countries. We have stopped counting now, and we've been across the length and breadth of India.
Okay, sir. As a traveler, what motivates you to start traveling?
Okay, see, initially traveling was more in terms of seeing places, okay, like ticking off from a list, like I've seen Taj Mahal, or I've seen some, say, temples or some natural places. But what I feel is that travel is also an evolution. So over a period of time, we are looking more at travel experiences. So it's not, for me, it is not just simple sightseeing. I look at more places. I look at the heritage of a place, the people of the place, what is the cuisine of the place, and many hidden stories which you cannot see by just doing the standard itinerary. So it's more like a curated experience that we look at nowadays.
Sir, 16 years and till now, what all have changed in traveling? What experience do you feel that is changed?
Yeah, so when we started traveling, it was more a traditional kind of traveling, where it's more of ticking off places, going to standard places. But today, the traveler demands much more. So it is all about experiential traveling now. So it is, you have things like rural tourism. So people like to experience a part of India's rural culture, or they want to look only at heritage. So you have all these niche tourism packages now. So it's not that one size fit all kind of thing which used to be earlier. Today in a family, someone may be interested in culture, maybe the younger ones in adventure. So it depends on what they are looking at, and as the travel industry, they need to fit those segments and target those niches.
Sir, as a traveler, any specific place or any place that has put a great impact on you, and do you have some stories if you can share?
So because 16 plus years of travel means we are full of stories, and many of our stories you will find on our website, imvoyager.com. And it's very difficult because each experience is unique, so it is very difficult to pick up a few, but there are some which obviously hold a special place. I'll tell a couple of them. So one was in a place called Rwanda, Africa. So in Rwanda, there is a place called Volcanoes National Park, where you have the mountain gorillas. And there are only about less than 1,000 which are there on the planet today, and they are facing extinction. So we were there on a trek, and we were going to meet a family of gorillas. So they are there out in the open. So you trek, and when I stood there in front of the gorillas, a huge gorilla was there just 4 feet in front of me. And I was trying to take a picture of it, and something brushed past me. And I was shocked to see that it was another gorilla which slightly pushed me and went forward. So that was one of the moments that remains evergreen in my mind. That is one story about the gorillas. And there are many such things. For example, in India, river rafting in the Ganga is a unique experience. So when you, so there was a time when we were asked to jump out of the boat and actually float on the river, and that was something surreal. That was one of the things. And in Florence, we were at this museum where you have Michelangelo's favorite sculpture, and David, the sculpture of David. So when you stand in front of that and you look at the sculpture, you can actually see the veins of David, which has been carved so beautifully, and your hair will stand on end when you look at that. So that is another example. So there are so many of these.
Sir, you have been traveling with your wife. So, like, do you feel like traveling with partner increases and helps in the building a relationship?
Yeah, yes, it does, because see, travel is also all about sharing.
Yeah.
Okay, so there have been some occasions when due to various constraints, like I have traveled alone or she has traveled alone, we've always missed that part where we felt that, oh, this is such a good view or such good scenery, I wish I could have shared it.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. So sharing is something which helps, and sharing common interests also helps in building the relation for a long time and better understanding.
And sir, like when you decide like which place you want to travel next, like how do you decide like what place do I am going to see next?
Okay, so so it all depends on what you are looking at, right? So two things that are foremost in our mind as of now. I mean, this changes. Like if you had asked me the question 5 years back, it could have been different. But today, one is heritage.
Okay.
Second is nature. So these are top two priorities for us. So if we are planning a vacation, we plan it accordingly.
Okay.
And the other thing we keep in mind is also that it should be offbeat. It is not something that everyone goes to. For example, we spent about 8 days in a place called Sakleshpur, which is hardly 220 kilometers from here.
Okay.
Now it is such a beautiful place, and just 220 kilometers from Bangalore, but it lies in the shadow of other places like Coorg and Chikmagalur. But Sakleshpur itself has so many hidden waterfalls, hills, adventure opportunities for trekking, for off-roading. So it's a beautiful place. We spent some time there. So that is what we look at.
Sir, 16 years in traveling, sir, any challenging experience that you faced and how did you came out of it?
Okay, so challenges are always there. I mean, see, life itself is nothing without challenges. So, but fortunately, we haven't had much, except for, say, once in when we were in Rome, we ended up on the wrong platform.
Okay.
And the train came and went.
Okay.
So we missed the train. So those kind of things. Another issue was again in Florence, where we had booked a hotel, and we went in search of the hotel, which was written right next to the station, but we were not able to locate it at all. Okay. There was some issue probably with the address in the booking, this thing, and it was only later on we realized that hotel was actually 15 kilometers from the place we were, and that was a suburban station, so we needed to go there. So we spent like almost 4 to 5 hours looking out, and at that time language was also a problem because you didn't have like Google Translate and those things like that. So that was another challenge. One extreme one was once when we were in Kargil, in the month of I think February, when it is like snow, full of snow. So we were traveling, and the road was covered with ice. Normal snow is fine, was ice, slippery ice, and the car skid and actually rotated like almost 360 degrees. Okay. And if it had, the driver managed to control it, otherwise I would not have been sitting here. Okay. It would have fallen down the gorge. So these are experiences, but then that is what makes it more interesting. I feel.
Okay. Sir, there are very new travelers are there. So what do you think, like people who have just started traveling or the new travelers, they do mistakes, and like what are the key things you believe that one should look up?
Okay. So if it's a new traveler, generally the tendency now, because of so many available like online platforms and all, is generally people go for a package trip, right? Rather than doing it on their own. So they'll say like maybe like 7 days, 8 nights or whatever, Europe package or this package and all that. So we even before, in the beginning, we did a lot of research on these kind of packages. This was, I think, around 10, 12 years ago, when we wanted to see a bit of Europe and all that. So we did a bit of research on the packages. What we found out was that it was all like fluff. There was not much you actually end up seeing, because 3 days they will say, okay, one day is leisure, one day is for shopping, something like that. And because we had our own list of places, and 50% of the places were not being shown. So I realized, and then we worked out our own itinerary, and then we did our bookings, and we found out that we covered more at a lesser price. So I would suggest is people need to take a look at that and not go blindly with any travel packages. I'm not saying that all may be bad. There may be good ones, but then you need to do a bit of research of your own, like, and also interest. Because there is a limited period. You will not be traveling obviously for months together. You may be traveling say for 5 days, 10 days. Then you have to make a list of what places are there and what are your interests. So accordingly you can match them, because you may end up seeing lots of museums. You may not be interested in museums. You may prefer something in nature. So accordingly you need to plan.
Sir, 16 years in traveling, sir, you have also done, corporate job.
Yes.
What advice would you like to give for your younger self, or, for the people who are, doing the jobs and all, or the younger self? Like, what advice would you like to give?
Okay, advice is I would have done it much earlier. I mean, I would have quit my job much earlier so that I could have devoted more time to travel, because that is a kind of a passion I have for travel. And also travel in terms of is a great educator. I mean, you learn such a lot, and you learn about different kind of people, different cultures. So it is something which cannot be, I mean, replaced. And one of the reasons we quit our corporate jobs was like we were like fed up with the routine presentations, there's Excel sheets. So we wanted to get onto Google Maps from Excel sheets and chart our own course. So that's what we did. But of course, I mean, see, it's not always, it's a tough decision, but then you need to balance out. And you also, because traveling alone is not going to pay your bills also. You need to pay your bills also. And so when you're working, at the end of the month, on the first of every month, salary is credited, but here it doesn't happen, right? So it depends on, so whether you want to travel. If you're traveling just for leisure, it is fine. But if you want to make it a career, there are different options, but it is a tough one, and you need to have that kind of talent or that kind of passion to make it happen.
Sir, 2024, what are the favorite destination would you recommend someone who's looking for a unforgettable destination?
Okay, so within India, and I'll also outside also. So I would outside India, very good destination is Vietnam. In fact, we were there just 6 months back, and we found it a very good destination, and it's also comparatively cheaper destination in terms of say hotels and all that. So if you get there, it is quite cheap, and there are so many places, and you find traces of Indian culture also over there. So you have many Hindu temples over there in Vietnam. So it's a very nice place for families from India who are traveling from India. That is one place I would recommend. Within India, within India, India is something like, even if you are born 7 times, you cannot see everything. That is the scope that India has. But some of the places I would recommend is Madhya Pradesh. Is I mean, it has so much, but it has nature, it has wildlife, and it has heritage so much. So Madhya Pradesh is some of the places that I would recommend. Is everyone knows Khajuraho. Then you have Sanchi. Then you have a place called Chanderi, which not many people know about, but has a very heritage which dates back to many thousands of years. So these are 3 places. And in nature, of course, you have the tigers in Madhya Pradesh, so different sanctuaries. And the other place I have fallen in love with is the Northeast, which has not been explored as much as it should be. So we spent about 15 days last year I think the year before last in Arunachal Pradesh. We did a road trip from right from Guwahati to Tawang, and we covered many places. So that is again virgin territory, totally untouched. So for people who are looking for different experiences, they should travel to Arunachal Pradesh and or anywhere else in Northeast. Those are beautiful places.
Sir, in traveling, like, did you face any kind of scary moments, or some places like you went and yeah, like you had some scary experience there?
Mm, Scary. Well, not really scary. I mean, it depends on,
Okay.
because I do not get scared easily, so
Okay.
I don't know. So I mean, so I jumped off a cliff when I was doing paragliding in Bir.
Okay.
So that is something that could scare someone,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I didn't get scared.
Okay.
Then even river rafting in the Ganga could be scary. Then in Uttarakhand there is a temple, Shiva temple, which is 80 feet under the ground. Okay, so there is only a small opening. You have to hold a rope and crawl inside,
Okay.
and then you reach down. So that could also be scary, but it was fine with me. So these are some of the different experiences that we've had.
As a traveler, like, how do you believe our app can put an impact and can help the travelers?
Okay, so from what I've heard about the app, what I understand is it looks like a single stop solution for many things. So whether it be planning your trip or even getting local advice, and what I really liked is when you are on the trip and you're on the go and taking pictures or videos, you can also share that on the same app. And I'm sure going forward it will build a strong community of travelers who can share their ideas. So for example, if I've been on a trip and there is an itinerary which I think is unique and offbeat, and of course there may be many people who are looking for something similar, so they can access that and also look at real pictures of the place. And even if it is, for example, a hotel that I've been to, they can get to see the real pictures of the hotel, because in many of the current apps or you do not actually get to see much of traveler photos or traveler experiences. So essentially what I understand is the platform is traveler's own platform where the traveler can actually put in his inputs and also help the community share whatever information he has. So it promises to be something really good.
Okay. Okay. So, sir, 16 years back, like how the technology has changed in traveling, and what do you how do you feel like apps and all are putting impact in traveling?
Okay, so yeah, travel, if you see 15 years, 16 years, has been a lot of change in travel, and everything has been harnessed by the forces of technology. So initially it was the internet. Even if you go beyond that, so it used to be phone, doing your bookings over phone, and then when the internet came and we had these websites, then you could do your bookings online. So that was one phase, and the next phase was the mobile. So where you have all the apps, you have different apps. So the change of technology has been rapid in terms of, say, if it is 10-15 years, it's a very small a period of time when you look at these kind of developments. So has been very rapid. So today everything is at your fingertips. So for example, when you talk about pure technology today, if I'm going to Vietnam and I need to communicate with the locals and I don't have an interpreter, I have my translate app which helps me communicate with them, which is very easy. And you have Google Maps again, which wasn't there, so you can actually find out. So wherever you are today, you will feel that you are at home as long as you have that phone with you. That is what I feel. So that is a tremendous achievement of technology over the years. And again, I think this is still the beginning. So I don't know where technology will take us, but definitely it will be some better place, still better place.
Yeah. Okay. Sir, any 3 travel tips would you recommend? Or
Okay.
Yeah.
So three travel tips. One is, I would say, plan your travel well in advance. Of course, there is an excitement in just packing your bags and going off. But if you're looking at maybe a longer trip, you have to plan in advance. So plan for your booking, hotel, everything. That is one. The second important tip is plan in terms of time when you are traveling. Okay. So usually you end up, most people travel in the vacations. So now summer vacation is coming, so they'll travel, or in December they'll travel. But I would recommend, if it is possible, try to travel during the off season, because there are many benefits. Prices are lesser, and the places you visit are also less crowded, so you'll enjoy them more. So if it is possible, always try to plan off season travel. So two. Third one. Okay, so the third is, if you are looking at package trips, as I had mentioned earlier also, do your own research and then see how it matches, or you have companies which customize trips for you. So you have your, do your research, decide what you want to see, and then approach that company, so and they will make a tailor-made itinerary for you. That is what I would suggest.
Sir, there are two terms, traveler and a tourist. Okay, so you believe people should be a traveler or a tourist?
Okay, see again, now this is a debate which has been going on. So I don't think that there is anything wrong in being a tourist. For example, I consider myself a traveler, but at some time I may become a tourist. Okay, because what people say is, some places touristy. For example, all tourists go. So if you go to Agra, you go to Taj Mahal, that means you are a tourist.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to, say, Paris, okay, I'm a traveler, so I'm looking at offbeat experiences, but I still will not want to miss the Eiffel Tower, right?
Yeah.
And people may say that is touristy. So I think it is a something, an ambiguous kind of distinction.
Okay.
So actually, I would like to steer clear of that. So some people are, no one is a pure tourist, or no one is a pure traveler.
So one more. People, there are some solo travelers, and some travel with their partners,
Yeah.
as like you. So what do you prefer? Like, what according to you, puts a great impact in the life?
See, see, now I can't travel solo. I mean, usually we travel together only. There are occasions when I've traveled solo. See, so both has its own merits and demerits, and so I have traveled alone when it was, I mean, in that time, and now I travel together. So as I said, traveling together is all about sharing. So you can share the experiences. But if you want to be more like in terms of introspective, I mean, dive deep into yourself and think in terms of philosophy, those things, then maybe solo traveler. But I mean, nothing is right, nothing is wrong. It depends on your choice and what you are looking at, right?